Hello and welcome to the Musical Instrument Investigator. Today on the website of Christie's Auctioneers, one of the world's leading auction houses, and we're going to have a look at this incredibly beautiful and rare 17th century guitar which is coming up for auction. So Christie's have this exceptional sale which is happening on the 21st of November, and lot one in this sale is this incredible guitar. So we're going to have a look at what Christie's have written about this, a look at the pictures and just kind of get an overview, because it's very rare that such a kind of fine museum quality guitar actually comes up to auction. So before I start, I just want to say massive shout out to Will, who's one of the viewers of the channel, who messaged me on Instagram to let me know about this auction because I didn't know anything about it, so I really appreciate that. For anyone that's interested just in musical instruments in general, feel free to contact me on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Threads. We've also got a Discord channel as well, so please kind of feel free to contact me on those platforms and I'll try and reply to you if I can. Also, I really appreciate anyone that watches, and if you haven't done so already, feel free to subscribe, like or comment, and anything is really much appreciated. So yeah, I just saw this guitar after Will sent me the link and I was like, wow, this is absolutely stunning. So if we do a bit of a translate here, because this is a Christie's Paris auction, so everything's kind of in French at the moment, so a bit of a translate here. So from the Rothschilds collection, we have a royal guitar from the Louis XIV period. It has the signature of Jean-Baptiste Voboam, and it was delivered for Madame Elizabeth Charlotte d'Orléans, and it's dated 1692. Now we'll read a little bit later on, but the Voboam family, extremely famous makers, incredibly important makers, and Jean-Baptiste, I believe, is the last in the line of this family of makers, and we'll read a bit more about that. So very interesting instrument, as you can see, incredibly beautiful already, and we have not even looked at it properly. It's got lots of ivory, lots of tortoise shell. It's a CITES nightmare, lots of endangered species, but absolutely stunning instrument. 20 to 40,000 the estimate. I think that is crazy low, really, in my opinion, but you know, the guitar market is different to the violin market, so it'd be really curious to kind of see how that actually sells. I'll put the link in the description as always. 15 days before kind of bidding starts, and like I said, the auction I believe is on the 21st, so you've got quite a while to speak to your bank manager and see what you can do in terms of a loan to buy this guitar. So anyway, let's quickly read a little bit about it before we look at the pictures, just so we understand what's going on here. So we've got royal guitar from Louis XIV. Diamonds decorated with scrolls and foliage. Scrolls bears on the handle the alliance coat of arms of Elizabeth Charlotte d'Orléans and Leopold I, Duke of Lorraine and Bar, and the signature of Jean Voboam attached. Its red Morocco case with decoration of golden fleur-de-lis with small irons bearing the arms of Elizabeth Charlotte d'Orléans, missing a key. Height 94 or 37 inches, length 25.5 or 10 inches, and then we've got 10 centimeters, 3.25 inches there as the other dimensions. So provenance: delivered for Madame Elizabeth Charlotte d'Orléans, 1676 to 1744. In 1692, Richard Penard Fernandez collection, sale at the Palais Galleria, December the 7th, 1960, lot 66, Rothschilds collection, then by descent to the current owner. So it's been up for auction before, so that's interesting. Literature: it's been in a few kind of books here. Collection of Baron and Baroness Guy de Rothschild from 2008. And festivities and entertainment at court in Paris. It's also kind of featured in that. Further details of this royal Louis XIV kind of period guitar. Wood for the top, spruce. It's got ebony, tortoiseshell, ivory and mother of pearl. Marquetry. Guitar is signed by Jean-Baptiste Voboam, supplied for Madame Elizabeth Charlotte d'Orléans, dated 1692. So yeah, very interesting 17th century guitar. What we'll do now is just kind of have a look at the images in a bit more detail. So here we have a nice kind of angled shot here from the front on. from the back. Absolutely stunning. I mean, this is like a museum level instrument that you might see at one of the kind of important museums, maybe the Cité de la Musique in Paris, or something like the Ashmolean Museum. Like, this is an exceptional instrument, a beautiful rosette as well, so really quite impressive. Amazing workmanship there. And there's a kind of Jean Voboam kind of note to the headstock, coat of arms there, so really quite impressive. Beautiful work, all the sort of fleur-de-lis. So this is everything that we were kind of talking about here. There's also kind of an image there. So looks like we're looking at some other instruments here as well. So if we go back to the beginning, maybe if we just start to zoom in, then we can get a bit of an idea of the details really of this this instrument. Absolutely stunning workmanship on this. This is a top tier guitar without a shadow of a doubt. This really is absolutely beautiful. All this tortoiseshell and ivory, very impressive. This is, probably the, other than if it was a Stradivari guitar or something like that, because they are exceptionally rare, this is going to be, one of the highest tiers of guitar that you could buy. Absolutely beautiful rosette there. Lovely kind of bridge with the moustache. Obviously it needs a bit of attention there, so it's not in a perfect condition. This back though, absolutely incredible, and the details on the neck is absolutely beautiful. Absolutely incredible looking instrument. Really stunning. That is impressive. Also great picture qualities here. Beautiful instrument there. Actually looks in fairly good condition in terms of decoration, so that's quite impressive. Side views here. Yeah, really nice instrument. The neck looks fairly kind of stable as well, so that's good to see. Here's the rosette. We can really, it's an art in itself, the rosette. It's absolutely stunning. You can see some cracks here. That's very common for guitar, especially of this age. Another beautiful kind of view of the kind of heel here. You can see some damage here, some cracking. It's kind of to be expected, but in general I think the condition is fairly impressive. That's a detail of the headstock. It's a coat of arms again, and this is the fleur-de-lis. I think this must be of the case, I presume. And then I think we move on to other bits that are not relevant. So that's the instrument itself. Absolutely stunning. There is an essay which I will read, but bear that in mind. If you want to skip this part, then just kind of get out of the video now. It looks super long. It's actually been doubled up because that is usually French that's been translated, and the bit down the bottom is actually the one that was already in English. So we'll read that one because I think the French translation is a little bit dodgy. So the guitar, which is signed by Jean-Baptiste Voboam, is one of a series of unique instruments. Indeed, we know of only 30 guitars made by the luthiers of the Voboam dynasty. There were 4 or 5 luthiers producing instruments at this workshop, founded by René Voboam around 1630 and active in Paris for over a century. Notably at the court of King Louis in Paris, 1640 to 1740, the historical and organological method at the service of dating. In dating the musical instrument, Paris Cité de la Musique. So that's kind of talking about dating the instrument. Under his reign, the guitar became more widely known and more popular, the king having been a private pupil of the Italian virtuoso Francesco Corbetta. With its growing popularity, this instrument, originally imported from Spain and Italy, would go on to really make its mark, as it was taken up by specialists within France itself. The guitar became a symbol of its owner's social standing, good taste and refinement. Thanks to the prestigious commissions they received, the Voboams won the king's favour and were introduced to the court. So these are kind of court-appointed instrument makers here, so they've kind of sealed their legacy already. The family's luthiers developed the guitar's technical features, such as its proportions and more decorative keys, or drawing inspiration from the skills of their contemporaries. One example of this is Boulez marqueterie, which was the inspiration for the veneer on this guitar. They also invented a decorative motif, the pistagna style of marqueterie, which is used here. The technique involves alternating ebony and ivory materials which are arranged in a frieze around the contours of the instrument, and in particular around the rosette. Each luthier from the Voboam family developed their own decorative touch and motifs for the instrument's headstock and inlays. The three-tiered gilded scrollwork rosette, however, is a design feature that is common to each generation. Alexandre Voboam, who was Jean-Baptiste's father, made particular use of this pistagna motif. His style is characterized as classical in comparison with other members of the family. Characteristics of his style are the 5 stripes of wood separated by 4 strips of ebony and ivory. And that's just saying where the kind of information is of that. One of his pieces, which was sold at Vichy Enchères in Drouot on 1st May 2021, lot 50, is a perfect representation of his style. So you do occasionally see these high level kind of guitars up at auction. This guitar has been designed by René Voboam's grandson, Jean-Baptiste, who was particularly active between 1697 and 1730. He was the last luthier of the dynasty. The characteristic feature of his work is a fuller headstock with more opulent decoration around the rosette. This can be seen on this particular guitar, which has 2 decorative friezes around the rosette. This style, already distinctive when the guitar was made in 1692, can also be seen on the guitar he made in 1697, which was exhibited at the Metropolitan Museum in New York, as well as the one he made in 1699, which is now in the collection of Mr. and Mrs. Alain Moatti and illustrated in the catalogue there. Fêtes and divertissements à la cour Paris. So I think that's the thing that we read about earlier, festivals and whatever in Paris. So you can look that up if you want to. This example of a Voboam guitar bears the coat of arms of Elizabeth Charlotte d'Orléans, 1676-1744, on its case, inherited from her father Philippe d'Orléans. The neck of the guitar itself bears the arms representing her marriage to Leopold I, Duke of Lorraine and Bar, a granddaughter of France. Mademoiselle de Chartres was the niece of Louis XIV and grandmother of Marie Antoinette through her son Francis, who married Marie Theresa of Austria. The court of Duke Leopold I was particularly notable for its artistic leanings. Major architectural commissions, including the Nancy Opera House, were given to Italian architects Giovanni Beto and Giacomo Barilli. The Italian influence also extended to music, with musicians being sent to Rome to receive training. Damien Holter writes the following on the subject: despite its close proximity to France, Lorraine was not simply a passive recipient of these transfers of human, cultural and artistic knowledge, but an autonomous laboratory that was able to borrow, adapt and disseminate the increasing flow of knowledge that symbolized the Enlightenment. Okay, well, we're getting into some kind of serious history here. Anyway, going back to guitars. Guitars from the Voboam dynasty were one-of-a-kind instruments which were tailor-made for their owners. They became hallmarks of the high standing of prominent families who were happy to be depicted alongside their instrument. One such example is Louise Anne de Bourbon-Conde, Mademoiselle de Charolais, who was painted by Pierre Gobert in a work that is now on view at the Musée des Beaux-Arts in Tours, or indeed Marie Adelaide Clotilde Javier of France, known as Madame Clotilde, and sister of Louis XIV. She was painted by François Hubert Duray in 1775, holding her Voboam guitar. I think that's the lady that we saw in that other image, in a work that is now held at the Palace of Versailles, which is super famous palace in France. As this illustrious history makes clear, the Voboam guitar is part of a succession of rare and extraordinary instruments that reveal the masterly craftsmanship of luthiers from the 17th century. More than 2 centuries after its creation, our guitar reappears in the archives. It was acquired by the collector Richard Penard Fernandez in the early 20th century, known for his Parisian collection of 18th century French decorative arts. He was a former Argentine diplomat before the First World War. His collection was housed in his apartment on Rue Cognac-Jay before he made numerous donations to French museums. These included a pair of Andirons by Thomier for the Salon de la Paix in Versailles, and a pair of blue martin varnished corner pieces by Thomas Joachim Hebert in the Louvre. The vast majority of his collection was subsequently dispersed at the famous 1960 sale at the Palais Galleria, including our guitar. Well, there we go. That is it. Sorry, that was a bit wordy, wasn't it, really? So I'll make sure during this video that I kind of have pictures of the instrument at the side, because that'll make it a bit more interesting for people. Sorry, I kind of read that. It's a bit dodgy kind of reading off some kind of paragraphs that you've not read before, so that was interesting. But yeah, just to say, once again, massive thanks to Will for pointing out this guitar. Incredible kind of high level museum quality guitar from a member of the Voboam family, coming up for auction at Christie's in Paris on the 21st of November. Estimate 20 to 40,000 euros. Absolutely stunning guitar, without question. One of the most exceptional guitars I think I've ever seen come to auction. Would definitely sit in quite well in any museum collection for sure. Really quite a stunning instrument, so really nice to see these pictures. It would have been lovely to see it in person, but I don't think that's going to be possible. So yeah, really interesting stuff here. So I'm going to put a link in the description as always. Check it out, see what you think. Thanks a lot for watching. I really appreciate it. Take care, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.